event. On behalf of the Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates Forum, I welcome each one of you to the event. And to start the event, may I kindly request the convener, Mr. A.L. Somayaji, and the co-convener, Mr. Ajmal Khan, to kindly accompany the Honorable Chief Justice and His Lordship Justice Mahadevan onto the dais. Welcome to the dais, Your Lordships. May I now kindly request Colonel Professor Dr. N.S. Santosh Kumar, Vice Chancellor Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, to be accompanied to the dais. Welcome onto the stage, sir. Now may I kindly request through A.L. Somayaji, convener, Mr. P.S. Raman, learned Advocate General, and through A.R.L. Sundaresan, learned Additional Solicitor General, to join the dignitaries on the dais. Thank you, sir. We start today's event with the invocational song, Tamil Thai Vaalthu. May I request everybody to stand up? Tirumati Jayalakshmi Parthasarathi, advocate, will do the honors of rendering the song.
நீராறும் கடலுடுத்த நிலமடந்தை கெழிலொழுகும் சீராறும் வதனமென திகழ்பரத கண்டமிதில் தெக்கணமும் மதிசிறந்த திராவிடனல் திருநாடும் கசிறு பிறை நுதலும் தரித்தனரும் திலகமுமே அத்திலக வாசனை போல் அனைத்துலகும் இன்பமுற எத்திசையும் புகழ் மணக்க இருந்த பெரும் தமிழனங்கே தமிழனங்கே உன் சீரிழமை திறன் வியந்து செயல் மறந்து வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே வாழ்த்துதுமே.
Thank you so much, Jayalakshmi, for the beautiful rendering of the song. The traditional way of inaugurating an event is by lighting the lamp, symbolizing the dispelling of darkness, that is ignorance, by light, that is knowledge, and as a symbol of invocation of divine blessing. May I request the dignitaries on the stage to kindly light the lamp. Thank you, Lordships. Thank you, sirs. The next event on the agenda is the welcome address by the co-convener of the Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates Forum, Thiru Ajmal Khan. May I request Thiru Ajmal Khan to come, please.
Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay V. Gangapurwala, the Chief Justice of Madras High Court. Honorable Mr. Justice R. Mahadevan, the Judge, Madras High Court. Dr. Santosh Kumar on the dais, the Vice Chancellor of Dr. Ambedkar Law University. Mr. A. L. Somayaji, the Senior Advocate and the President of Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates Forum and former Advocate General of Tamil Nadu. Mr. A. R. L. Sundaresan, Additional Solicitor General of India, and the dais. The Honorable the Honorable Mr. Justice P. T. Asha, the Honorable Mr. Justice B. Kumaresh Babu, the Honorable Mr. Justice Bharata Chakravarti, the Honorable Mr. Justice N. Senthil Kumar, the judges of Madras High Court, the former judges of Madras High Court, the Honorable Mr. Justice Sudhandaram, Justice R. S. Ramanathan, Justice K. N. Basa, Justice B. Rajendran, Justice Kannan, the learned senior advocates, my revered senior Mr. G. Masulamani, senior advocate, Mr. M. Ravindran, senior advocate, the learned senior advocates, my brother advocates, the members of the registry, members of the Fourth Estate. I welcome you one and all for the event organized by Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates Forum to release the directory on senior advocates and to launch internship program for the students affiliated with Dr. Ambedkar Law University and to dedicate a fund named after late R. Krishnamurthy, senior advocate and former Advocate General of Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu Senior Advocate Forum, it was started as a small WhatsApp group. Now it has transformed into a formidable forum and with a will to serve the society. Actually, it's already, the forum has started donating aids to the people who are downtrodden when they are in need during floods, rains. The seniors who flourish in the profession on account of the designation as senior advocates are not selfish. In fact, they have got a will to give back what the profession gave to them, to the society. It is in this context the forum thought fit to release the directory on Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates. The directory which has the senior advocates designated by this court since 1944 to till date. And the other event which going to launch today is the launching of internship program for the students of law colleges affiliated with Dr. Ambedkar Law University. Actually, it is in line with the rules framed under the Tamil Nadu Advocates Act and also in the light of the judgment of the Supreme Court in Neeraja Solakar case recently on 16th January 24, where the Supreme Court has directed the respective state bar councils to file a report on the framing of senior advocates with 10 years standing at each districts to give internship to the students. It is to identify the young mind in the profession, to give them a fillip and to encourage them to join in the profession. And the third event, a dedication is to be made in the name of R. Krishnamurthy, the former Dean of the Bar and a long time serving the Advocate General of Tamil Nadu, affectionately called RK, not by the Madras Bar. Such dedication will help the students of Dr. Ambedkar Law University to conduct moot events, both nationally and internationally. Actually, these events organized by the Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates Forum is only a beginning, and many more things to come from the forum. And we will come often with your love and affection to serve the society. Thank you.
May I now request the convener of the Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates Forum, Thiru A.L. Somayaji, to address the gathering.
Good evening to all of you. Honorable Chief Justice Sanjay V. Gangapurwala, Honorable Justice R. Mahadevan, dignitaries on other, Dr. Santosh Kumar and other dignitaries on the dais, of the dais, family members of R. Krishnamurthy, and law college students who have taken the pains to come here, and other media, and I invite all of them. Today the Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates Forum is taken 3 initiatives. One is about the release of the directory, which was conceived by the previous office bearers of the forum, and the present office bearers are only giving effect to that. The second is the launch of internship program for student of law college affiliated to Dr. Ambedkar University. Senior advocates are to accommodate interns to know the basics like drafting of pleadings, clients' interaction, and observation of court proceedings. And the third initiative is endowment in the name of renowned R. Krishnamurthy. He was a doyen of the bar, and he was respected by everybody, and an example to be emulated by everyone. And this endowment is created with a corpus of 25 crores to begin with, and the sponsorship, 25 lakhs. The sponsorship of students, perhaps it may reach 25 crores, Chief. Sponsorship of students is selected for international moot court competition is to be done by them, and they are organizing annual memorial lectures from this year onwards. And I hope all the 3 initiatives will be receive wide acceptance, and few more initiatives are to be taken. We will announce it soon. Thank you.
On behalf of the forum, we would now like to honor the guests with a small memento. May I request Thiru A.L. Somayaji to honor His Lordship, the Chief Justice. May I request Thiru Ajmal Khan to honor His Lordship, Justice R. Mahadevan. May I now request Thiru S. Parthasarathi sir to honor the Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law University, Colonel Professor Dr. N.S. Santosh Kumar. May I now request Learned Senior Counsel Mrs. Hema Sampath to come and do the honors to Ms. Jayalakshmi Parthasarathi. As one of the initiatives of the forum, a comprehensive directory of all the senior councils has been prepared and published, the credit for which goes to our secretary, through Om Prakash. Kudos to you, sir, for the commendable effort. It would be our pleasure and honor to have His Lordship the Chief Justice to unveil the directory and hand over the first copy to His Lordship Justice Mahadevan. May I now request through P.S. Amal Raj, Chairman Bar Council of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, to kindly come on to the dais and receive a copy of the directory from His Lordship Justice R. Mahadevan. I'm so sorry. I wanted to announce before we proceed to the next item on the agenda. I'm requested to inform the gathering that His Lordship Justice R. Mahadevan would have to leave the event at 5:30 as he has to attend a Coffee Posa board meeting. We understand the overriding importance of the liberty of citizens. Thank you so much for being a part of the function. I'm sorry I'm making this statement after His Lordship has left the stadium. Yes. Mr. Ramal Raj is not here. I'm sorry, Mr. Ramal Raj is not present. I'll move on to the next. Anybody from Bar Council, the secretary, if you could come on to the stage. Mr. Srinath, can I kindly request you to come? Mr. Chandrasekhar, sir, please come on to the stage and receive the directory on behalf of the Tamil Nadu Bar Council. I request His Lordship the Chief Justice to do the honors in. I think the Learned Advocate General has just come. Now I'm going to call him on to the stage. I request the Learned Advocate General, Mr. P.S. Raman, to kindly come on to the stage and hand over a copy of the directory to the President of the Madras Bar Association, Mr. Bhaskar. I request Mr. Bhaskar to kindly come on stage and receive a copy. I'll just request. Okay. May I request the learned Additional Solicitor General, Mr. A.R.L. Sundaresan, to hand over a copy of the directory to Mr. Krishna Kumar, Secretary of the Madras High Court Advocates Association. May I request Mr. Ajmal Khan, co-convener, to hand over a copy of the directory to the President of the Women's Lawyers Association, Mrs. Luisal Ramesh. I request Thiru Selva Raj, President, Law Association, Chennai, to kindly come on to the dais and receive a copy of the directory from Mr. Parthasarathi, Learned Senior Counsel. Anybody from the Law Association may kindly come on to the stage and receive a copy on behalf of the association. Can I ask Srinath Sridevan to kindly come and receive a copy on behalf of the association, please? We go on to the next initiative of the forum, that is the launch of the internship program. May I request Thiru M.S. Krishnan, Senior Counsel, who will be a part of the committee overseeing the program on behalf of the forum, to come forward to explain the roadmap of the program.
Respected Chief Justice Shri Sanjay Viganga Purwala, respected judges, retired judges, dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, I am extremely privileged and happy to address this august gathering on the occasion of the launch of the internship program for law students. This program has been long overdue. In fact, the concept of internship is not something new. We have been having interns. I still remember even 30, 40 years before, interns attending office, attending lawyers' chambers and courts. But there is no structured organization. It was totally unorganized, depending upon the enthusiasm or interest of the individual students. And it's high time, and possibly the precursor to this is a scheme which was, of course, it was nothing official, launched by 1986 law group, which was, of which Justice M.M. Sundaresh, the Honorable Supreme Court Judge, was also a party. And they had organized payment of the internships and junior lawyers to be paid, particularly from the rural and poor background. They were supporting interns and junior graduates by way of a monetary support of about 5,000, honorarium of rupees 5,000. The scheme really went off well for nearly 4 years, but thereafter, I think that's why I said there's been no structured attempt to ensure that internship continues. Now, by virtue of the legal provisions which Mr. Ajmal Khan took you through, we are going to have a definite program in and by which we ensure that it is a continuing scheme. So this, we are in the process of framing rules, and this will happen. And we are happy to coordinate with the Vice Chancellor, Tamil Nadu Ambedkar Law University, and it is going to be a joint effort of the Tamil Nadu Ambedkar Law University and this particular forum. Now coming to why this internship is very, very important. On the other day, I was witnessing a raw junior addressing court, one of the courts. He wanted an adjournment as the senior was not available. The representation that he made was, my senior is not available today, have it on some other day. I could see the frown on the face of the judge. Why does it happen? Today, there is no question of they don't intern, or they are not. Earlier days, when a junior joins an office, there would be a minimum of 7 to 10 years in that office. You imbibe the qualities of drafting, arguing in courts, the way you carry yourself in court. These things today, the first or second year, the youngsters, yes, they are very, very clever and extremely brilliant, much more well-read than what we were 40 years ago. But the manner in which you should address a court and how you interact with the judge is very, very important, which you can learn only by way of an internship or training under a senior. The main ingredients that one learns as an intern or even as a raw junior: preparation of notes, interaction with clients, learning to plead, arguments. More so, today we find a trend that juniors are so aggressive. Aggression doesn't take you anywhere. I mean, it really, ultimately the judges also frown upon such aggression. You need to put across your facts in a way where you are balanced. And this is something which we see very regularly these days. And that apart, case laws. Case laws is something which today, during our days, we had to really climb up the ladder and take out books. Today, on the drop of a button, you are able to get all the authorities. But that is not enough. You need to read the bare act and then go through the facts and then apply the case law which you have taken out. So therefore, I am sure this internship program is going to benefit all the students of Ambedkar Law University, and I hope all other universities also replicate this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. The internship program, as explained, envisages the execution of a memorandum of understanding between the forum and the Dr. Ambedkar Law University. May I now request His Lordship the Chief Justice to kindly hand over the memorandum of understanding, that is the project document, to the Vice Chancellor of Ambedkar Law University, Colonel Professor Dr. N.S. Santosh Kumar, and a copy of the same to our convener, Thiru A.L. Somyaji. Only handing. Thank you, my lords. We move on to the next initiative of the forum, the creation and unveiling of the R. Krishnamurthy Endowment at the Dr. Ambedkar Law University. And we are also informed that the Law University has an endowment program whereby the donor creates the endowment in the name of a revered one, endowing a corpus and dedicating the income for the purpose of recognizing and encouraging talent of gifted students by institution of a medal cash prize, etc. To our knowledge, various endowments have been created, a few of which I may be permitted to read. In the name of Honorable Justice P.N. Bhagavati Endowment, Sri S. Venkatarama Iyer Endowment, Honorable Mr. Justice K. Veerasamy Endowment, late Sri V.V. Ramana Rao Patnaik Endowment, Justice M. Srinivasan Memorial Gold Medal, Professor R.V. Dhanapalan Endowment, to name a few. But the purpose of reading out the names of the endowments, we are proud to say that there are a number of endowments in the names of senior counsels of the Madras High Court. The oldest to our knowledge being the endowment in the name of Sri V. Sridevan, the father of Srinath Sridevan sitting here. The other endowment is in the name of Sri V. Ramachandran Memorial Gold Medal, which is given to the topper in company law, which is instituted by Her Lordship Justice Anita Sumant, in the name of her late father, Sri V. Ramachandran, learned senior advocate. The other endowment is in the name of Sri K.R. Ramamani, who was also a senior counsel of this honorable court, and S. Rajagopal Criminal Law Endowment Lecture, which was instituted by our earlier Advocate General, Sri Shanmuga Sundaram, in the name of his father. Therefore, we are very proud that this is going to be an addition to the endowments in the names of the learned senior counsels of this honorable court. Now, going on to the next program of the event, may I request Srinath Sridevan to pay a small tribute to late R.K. Sir, in whose name the endowment is created.
Honorable Chief Justice, Honorable Judges sitting and retired, Vice Chancellor, members of the TNSAF, fellow advocates, friends. At the outset, I thank the Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates Forum for giving me this opportunity to pay a tribute to a man who bestrode this court like a colossus and from whom I learned so much. My Lord the Chief Justice did not have the good fortune to know Mr. R.K. as he was called. It is for us to present a portrait as best as we can with our imperfect words. I shall try to do so. Mr. R.K. was the Advocate General of State of Tamil Nadu between 1980 to 89, 1994 to 1996, and I'm not giving away any secrets when I say that subsequent governments of both our states' political parties tried their best to make him accept the office of Advocate Generalship. Even thereafter, he of course refused. He argued nearly every major issue of constitutional importance that arose in our High Court after the 1980s, maybe not in direct acts, but in everything else. I had the pleasure of briefing him continuously from the time I started my practice until COVID. I've spent hours and days in his office in Balaji Nagar and in his chambers here, from which the greatest lights of our profession emerged, Mr. Muthukumar Sami, Mr. Ayadurai, Mr. Jinasenan, and I've learned a lot. I would like to focus on three aspects of him which are etched in my mind forever from three anecdotes which I'd like to relate. The first is his mastery of law. There was a large multinational car manufacturing company. In these car factories, there's something called a paint room. And these paint rooms use a product called methanol. Now, methanol is a substance which is also regulated under the Prohibition Act. And this car manufacturing company was storing methanol. Our government took the view that since you're storing methanol, you need a prohibition license. And they issued a sealing order against the car factory. I prepared a draft writ. I was asked to engage a senior. Of course, I went to R.K. uncle. We got a lunch motion. I met him in the chamber. It was my good fortune that both Mr. Muthukumar Sami, also called as Muthu sir, and Mr. Ayadurai, they were both free. They were sitting there. And within a few minutes of talking about the case, R.K. sir said, I've argued this before 15 years ago in a case called Meshmajar. And so I went, I looked it up, and we immediately found that he had argued the exact same point 15 years earlier. And so it was then that I realized that the breadth of his knowledge through the sheer dint of practice and being Advocate General was enormous, and he was an encyclopedia of information. He remembered the points. Of course, we went to court. He argued for about 20 minutes, and we got the interim order. But it was a testament to his knowledge and the sheer breadth and scope of cases that he had argued in his glorious career. The next aspect of him that I'd like to mention, which is something which is his sense of humor. I had engaged him in a matter in Madurai, and we were at the Madurai airport waiting to board the flight. Near Madurai, there's a very famous sweet stall called Irittu Kadai. Chief, you'll have to get translation of this. And so they're very famous for their halwa. They're very hard to buy, so I went and I made it a point to go buy. I found a shop which sold this Irittu Kadai halwa in a very attractive package. So I decided I must get it for uncle. So I went, I bought the package, I took it to him. He was sitting in the lounge, and then he took this packet. He turned it over like this and said, "Ida paatha thiruttu kada halwa madri irke." So Irittu Kadai means dark shop. Thiruttu Kadai means fraudulent shop. So he guessed that it was counterfeited, and he was right. But that was him. He had this sense of humor which many people did not know. Then the last and the most important thing I learned from him was ethics and decorum. So there was this case where the opposite party had obtained an ex parte interim order. I thought it was by suppression of facts. I drafted a lengthy counter affidavit where I used the word fraudulent, malicious, vexatious, all these things. I took the draft to Mr. R.K. for approval. He read the affidavit slowly, making corrections wherever appropriate. When he finally reached the part where I pointed out how the opposite party had misled the court, he read the various affidavits that I had used, and he circled the affidavits with a pencil. He looked at me and said, "Should we say this?" So then, before I answered, he asked me again, "Should we really say this?" So I had no answer, obviously. I read it. It looked like we didn't need all these adjectives. So I deleted that paragraph, because I realized that we can make our point without wounding the other party. When the matter came up for argument, the other side used all those same adjectives to describe my client. Obviously, I was jumping up to interrupt and contradict what the other side lawyer was saying. But R.K. uncle said, "We never interrupt when the other man is arguing. Let him say, we'll get our turn." And when our turn came, he took the judge through the record. And then before ending, he said, "My learned friend said many things about the respondent." And then he said, "We normally don't make such submissions." And that's all. He didn't say one word more. The court, there was pin drop silence. The other side stood up and said, "I'm sorry." So that was his standing. His standing, his sense of fair play, his sense of ethics. To lawyers like me, he was not merely raising the standard for ethical conduct, he was the standard himself. For many of us assembled here, the initials RK don't symbolize merely a great lawyer. It was a banyan tree. The far spread branches offered shelter to many lawyers. They offered a safe place where we would all go to learn. Many are the great lawyers and judges who emerged from their office. I'll be failing my duty if I don't mention the names of Justice Adi Kesavalu, Justice Kumaresh Babu, Mr. R. Muthukumar Sami, Mr. Ayadurai, Mr. Jeena Senan, and many others. Forgive me if I missed anyone. I learnt a great deal from R.K. uncle. Today he is no more, but he lives on in our hearts and in his various juniors practicing and judging in this court. Nothing could be more fitting than an endowment in his name for the benefit of students. Thank you.
I would like to now invite His Lordship Justice Kumaresh Babu, Mr. V. Aryadurai, Senior Advocate, Mr. Jeena Senan, and Thiru K. Sundareshwaran, son of R.K. sir, to kindly join the dignitaries on the dais. I request His Lordship the Chief Justice to hand over the endowment document created with the corpus fund of a sum of rupees 25 lakhs in the name of late R. Krishnamurthy, to Professor N.S. Santosh Kumar, Vice Chancellor of the University, in the presence of the other dignitaries. Now may I request His Lordship the Chief Justice to kindly come and address the gallery.
Malai Vanakam. My esteemed sister and brother judges, former judges of this court, Colonel Professor Dr. N.S. Santosh Kumar, Vice Chancellor of Tamil Nadu Dr. Ambedkar Law College, Mr. Somayaji, the Learned Advocate General, the Learned Additional Solicitor General, Mr. Ajmal Khan, the conveners and the co-conveners, senior advocates, members of the bar, and my fellow students sitting at the back. Well, I'm referring to you as fellow students because I consider myself to be a student of law. I believe that a person is a student from cradle till grave. At the outset, I congratulate the Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates Forum for taking up these three initiatives. They are the need of the hour. It is the need of the day. The directory certainly will be useful to one and all, to the junior lawyers, to the students. The information would be available for all the senior advocates with whom the internship they can do. To the junior lawyers, to contact the senior advocates, and more particularly when the senior advocate is not available when the matter is called out. Well, Alvin Toffler, a social scientist and futurologist, said, and I quote, "The illiterate of the 21st century will not be those who cannot read or write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn." It is this process which will be required. Even unlearning will be a process which will be very handy, and then only you will be in a position to relearn it. In recent days, we have seen that legal education has undergone a paradigm shift. When I was a student of law, there used to be hardly one moot court in 1 year. And that was considered to be an extracurricular activity. But nowadays, there are about 40-50 moot courts a year, and that is considered to be an intracurricular activity. Nowadays, the legal education has become more interactive and innovative. Where legal internship, the law internship, has been a part of curriculum, 20 hours internship has to be undergone by each student. And what better way than to join the office of the senior advocates? I congratulate the senior advocates for this reason, that they have risen to the occasion and has conceptualized this policy which would help the junior lawyers, which would help the upcoming, the lawyers in the offing. The senior advocates are reservoir of knowledge and wisdom. Remember, knowledge and wisdom is not one and the same thing. By knowledge, you can solve a problem. By wisdom, you may avoid a problem. And this wisdom would come by experience, which the senior advocates have in abundance. Now, what I am saying is for juniors and the students. Seniors can close their ears because I believe that seniors like me are incorrigible. Now, once a case, a murder trial was going on. The murder had taken place at the midnight. It was dark. And the eyewitness was a lady standing in the balcony of her house. The murder has taken place on the road. The trial commenced after 1 year. There were two accused. One was represented by a senior lawyer, and another accused was represented by a young lawyer who had just joined the bar but who had passed his law examination and had come first class first. The senior lawyer, after 1 year, the trial commenced. The senior lawyer stood up for the cross examination and saw the lady wearing thick glasses. The senior lawyer stepped 20 feet back, asked the lady to remove the glasses, and then asked her, can she recognize him? She said no. He stepped 5 feet ahead. Can you still recognize me? She said no. He again went ahead up to 10 feet and asked her, can she recognize him? She said no. He stopped the cross-examination. And he told the junior lawyer who had just now joined the bar that please don't cross-examine anything. The purpose is served. But the junior one who had recently joined the bar was saying that I have stood first class first in the law examination. I have a right to cross-examine. And he asked the question, Madam, since when you are wearing these glasses? She replied, 6 months back I met with an accident and damaged my eyes. So this is the difference between a knowledge and experience. It is only with an experience you can get the wisdom. So you have to also see what not to ask, when to keep silence. And this nuances you will learn from the senior advocates. And that's why this internship program is very necessary. It is a must. The memorandum has been executed between the forum of the senior lawyers and the vice chancellor of the university. Well, I asked them whether there is arbitration clause in that. They said, no, the dispute would not arise. And I also cautioned them, I am not witness to that. But nonetheless, it is a very good initiative which has been taken by the senior lawyers. And the young students should take the optimum benefit out of it. And the third initiative of starting an endowment in the name of the great lawyer, fondly known as RK. I have heard about him. I did not have the good fortune to hear him, but I have heard about him a lot. The endowment in his name would also be very relevant for the reason that the endowment is going to support the students who would be taking part in moot courts, maybe moot courts pan-India, the moot courts held in foreign countries. And these senior advocates have come forward to lend a helping hand to them, and that would also help all the students at most. So I wish all the best to the students, and I appeal to them to take the benefit of all these initiatives. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Lordships, for the very entertaining and enlightening speech. May I now request Mr. Om Prakash, Secretary of the Tamil Nadu Senior Advocates Forum, to propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Justice, Honorable Judges of the Madras High Court, the revered retired judges of this High Court, all the senior advocates, dignitaries on the stage, the Vice Chancellor of the Law University, a warm welcome and a good evening to you all. The designated senior advocates, as we could see from the directory which we have culled out from the records of the Bar Council, is starting from the year 1944 with the enrollment, senior enrollment number 1 of 1944 in the name of Sri Keshava Iyengar. And from then till today, year-wise we had lot of information which has been made part of the directory. This designation of a senior advocate carries lot of responsibility and accountability. We had doyens of this bar, many senior advocates who had a mark not only in the profession, who had contributed a lot in many facets of the society. Name any institution of the state or the city, be it colleges, be it cultural centers, be it associations, sabhas, you had a senior advocate behind it. If you look at Narada Gana Sabha, if you look at Music Academy, which is to be the cultural centers as far as the city is concerned, you had the senior advocates who had played a great role. Likewise, in many areas, and if you look at nationally, there had been a very large impact which the senior advocates of Tamil Nadu had created. Even today, we have Sri K.K. Venugopal, Sri Parasaran, who are a kind of fatherly figures, the guiding principles, and we have amongst us seniors like Maslamani sir, Ravindran sir, I. Subramaniam, who are all still continuing to attend courts post their 8 years of age. Every one of the senior had been an inspiration to me. When Srinath was speaking about R.K. sir, I had a lot of emotions running. The day I was designated a senior, I in fact made it a point to reach out to all the seniors and said, whatever which I am today in this profession is what I had learned, watching the seniors, observing from them, getting guidance from them. So that tradition continues as far as the state is concerned. We had always revered the senior advocates. Now I had heard from R.K. sir that there used to be a wonderful relationship between the seniors. We hear from seniors of those dates, like Maslamani sir, Ravindran sir, many others, they were so closely attached. They would know each of the family members. The other day when I met Mr. Sundareswaran regarding this endowment, he would immediately tell, I will call Somiyaji uncle, I will call Ravindran uncle, I will call Maslamani uncle. And he was telling me a lot of information as to how they used to spend times together in families. So this is how it had been there. Then in 2017, we had come into a kind of a forum. I don't know whether it was by accident or it was incidental or whatever it is. It was in a situation that senior advocates wanted to have a felicitation for Justice Sanjay Kishan Kaul. And it all mooted into a point that why can't we have a forum about it? Till such time you have lot of information as to whatever philanthropical activities which they have been doing, whatever manner in which they have been associated with various organizations, and even law students. I had in fact said in one of recent interview that when I was part of the Madras Law College, the campus next to this High Court, day in and day out we have to look at the advocates in the campus. We used to just cross over that compound wall, sometimes get over that gate and jump into this campus and visit the chambers and meet many of them. So that had been the way in the seniors had conducted themselves, and we had imbibed that. So 2017 onwards, as I said, got into a forum. We were looking at having many activities. This philanthropy, this fellowship which was all there with them, now turned into constructive purposes which we can put as a forum. It's not that this constructive activities was not done earlier. It was now brought into a kind of an umbrella where we are joined together, and since then, the evolution which you have seen is that from 2017 to 2024, we are now in a position to put in some acts which is reflected in this function, commit ourselves to certain things which we wanted to do, certain things which we wanted to reflect to the society. So I, at this time, need to thank each of the seniors who had been pillars of strength as far as the Tamil Nadu senior advocates are concerned. Each of the seniors who had been guiding, who had been the light which we can look at. And in fact, they have taken a lot of pains of many seniors to just ensure they attend this program also. Now coming to my part of the vote of thanks. When we had this idea of getting into finalizing the directory and having it released, somewhere around November, June, December, we had once met the Chief Justice and informed that we are getting a directory ready, we would like your lordships to release it. And ever since then, we had some schedule sometime in January, February. It so happened that we couldn't complete the task and days were not rolling. And finally, before Lordship can demit his office and leave this city or keep away from this campus, we wanted to have at least function. More than us, it was after a period of time, whenever an opportunity come, the Honorable Chief Justice was asking when you are likely to have the function. It was finally he was pushed us to say that let us have at least this evening, some working day in the evening, and said that please have it in the campus itself, we will have it in the auditorium. Don't pull me out somewhere, I have to finish my court and join here. So a lot of support which had been there from the Honorable Chief Justice, and he had been always in high praise. He used to tell in his chambers when we meet that I cannot ever compete with the senior advocates. I will not have a word against you. So thankful very much for the Honorable Chief Justice for having graced this occasion, stood with us in many times, and helped us to shape ourselves in a better manner. We had then thought about Justice Mahadevan, who was always having a good heart for senior advocates. You can even recollect whenever he is conducting his court, when he looks at senior advocate, his first statement will be, yes, senior. I have never seen that he will say, no, senior. Even if you are on the wronger side, he will say, yes, senior, please let me know. It may not be the same with the other advocates. He carried that much of goodwill as against the senior advocates, and when we invited him, he said very happily that he will be participating in this function. And unfortunately, 2 days back, he had informed that he may have to attend a board meeting of Coffee Posa where Detinue's interest is more important. He said, even if I miss one meeting, it will get deferred for some more days if somebody has to be released. So he said, I will come, but just make sure that by 5:30 I leave because other members of the board will be present there. And as he said, he had made it a point to be amongst us in this session, except the release of the directory. So on behalf of the Senior Advocate Forum, on behalf of all the members who had assembled here, I am also extending my heartfelt thanks to Honorable Justice R. Mahadevan. When these initiatives started, at every stage, I used to keep troubling our convener, Mr. A.L. Somayaji. It used to be at nights, days, and I used to tell, sir, I am thinking something like this. Sir, members wanted this. At his age, I don't expect that he has to go through all these WhatsApp messages which is happening in the Senior Advocates Forum. So I have to pick out some messages and said, sir, there is some thoughts like this, there is some posts like that. How do we carry about it? He had been so helpful. He had been encouraging me. He had, in fact, at some point of time, he said, my concurrence is always there with you, Om Prakash. You please go ahead and do whatever you feel like. So that had been the good support which Mr. Somayaji had extended to me personally, as well as that had shaped various of these activities for the forum. So I thank Somayaji sir in this occasion for having extended all his support and being present for this function. And when we thought about this internship program as well as the endowment, I have been part of the syndicate in the Dr. Ambedkar Law University. There had been many instances when syndicate has to approve some internship, some endowments which had been coming up, and some ratification to be done. So there was also once an instance when the Vice Chancellor brought it to our notice saying that that there are 2 students who have selected and who are qualified to attend an international moot court. But unfortunately, their families don't have the support system to sponsor their amount which is required for them to travel to US. And they have been in fact requesting the government also to step in. There had been some commitment from the government saying that we will bring in some scheme to sponsor this, but it was not happening. So the Vice Chancellor was requesting the syndicate to take a decision to do something. Part of that syndicate meeting, in fact, Justice M.S. Ramesh was there. Justice Ramesh said, whatever it is, first provide the funds for the students to travel. Let us see whether it is going to be the university funds, whether it is going to be the government funds, or if somebody we are going to get them contributed. So that time it struck me that we need to have some corpus which will support the students if there is a requirement. So I committed to the Vice Chancellor. He said we will get it something done. And I cannot have any other thought than to have an endowment in the name of RK sir. So I spoke to Sundaresan. I said that we want to do. He said we are very, very happy about it. Let us go ahead. And you heard Dakshayani also reading various endowments which are already there. The university's statute says that any endowment, minimum corpus to be created is 5 lakhs. So I just went through how it was. And of late, we had last 2 endowments, including what Mr. Shanmusundaram has created for his father by a contribution of 10 lakhs. And when we look at all these endowments, will result in some kind of a prize money, some gold medal, silver medal, all those things. But what we were looking at, something big. So I said, we will ensure that at least a substantial corpus is made. So therefore, this would be the first endowment in the university which has a substantial corpus of 25 lakhs, so that it benefits. And when this document was being prepared, I also made it a point saying that apart from this corpus, the document will also specify that there will be an annual contribution. So there is an administrator committee which will manage this endowment. So as and when every year, for example, today a person to travel to US may be a lakh for the travel and another 50,000, but down the line another 3-4 years it may increase. But this corpus, whatever we create and interest it comes, it may not increase. So we need to again keep ensuring that this goes on a continuing basis. We said there will be an annual contribution also which will be made as far as this endowment is concerned. So this, once we had put it to the syndicate, even before an endowment was created, I made it as a request that an agenda be put up in the syndicate and approved, and it was approved in December. So I am thankful to the Vice Chancellor as well as the members of the syndicate in the university who had agreed to this, and we had ensured that it is carried forward, and today we have seen the fruits of it. And for that, we had requested the Vice Chancellor to be part of the function so that he is also aware of what efforts being done. I am thankful on behalf of all the members to the Vice Chancellor, Colonel Professor N.S. Santosh Kumar, for having graced this occasion by his presence. And the internship program, which Mr. M.S. Krishnan has spelled out in detail, which will be a continuing program also, where we require a lot of support from the university. The registrar of the university, Mrs. Gauri Ramesh, had also come here, and many faculty members of the university are also present. So thanks to the Law University, Vice Chancellor, the registrar, and all the faculty for having graced this occasion. I should not miss out the Advocate General, one of, again, a person whom I look at many times. When I say Advocate General, when I mean Mr. Raman, I also need to acknowledge the fact that I had a lot of support from Mr. Vijay Narayanan, who was the then Advocate General when I became a senior advocate. We had those years. He had, in fact, given me the initial thrust as far as a senior advocate is concerned, guiding me in many manners. Then we had the other senior advocates, Mr. Shanmusundaram, who had been helpful a lot, and Mr. P.S. Raman. Anything which I go to Mr. Raman, he said yes. Many a times, it is not a meeting in his office or not a meeting in his chamber. It is mostly in the veranda. It is mostly in the corridors. When he goes from one court to another court, I just catch up with him. I say that, sir, this is being done. I need some support. I need some help. Immediately, he'll say, please go ahead, Om Prakash, we are there. And he made it a point to be present today and helped us. I thank Mr. Raman for having graced this occasion. And I need to say a lot about Mr. Sundaresan. My first appearance as an independent lawyer arguing a writ petition for admission was before Justice A.R. Lakshmanan in Court Hall number 8. So I never forget what had happened that day in the court. And after I finished and came out, I had at least a few lawyers saying that you stood the ground to get something done. It was admitted and interim stay was granted. Interestingly, that was a matter where it relates to an advocate's. Advocates Act, a case where a third party who filed an authorization and said, I want to argue on behalf of somebody before a forum, was permitted. So we filed an application under the Advocates Act saying that it cannot be done unless the court gives the leave at the first instance. So that was brought in by a writ petition. So my first appearance was before Dr. Honorable Justice A.R. Lakshmanan, and whatever love and affection he had towards me, and I continued with that, is still continuing with Mr. A.R. Sundaresan. He had been a brotherly figure for me throughout. He had contributed a lot as far as the Senior Advocates Forum is concerned. So having graced this occasion as the Additional Solicitor General of India, I am thankful to Mr. A.L. Sundaresan for being present. And finally, I need to thank the co-conveners of the Senior Advocates Forum, Mr. Ajmal Khan, Mr. S. Parthasarthi, as well as Mrs. Krishnaveni, who couldn't make it today. Ajmal Khan has traveled all along from Madurai to be present for today's meeting. And Parthasarthi sir had been always with us in Madras High Court. Like we had the lecture series going in collaboration with the MBA for last 1.5 months. Mr. Parthasarthi had been instrumental in putting through various topics for the lecture series, various speakers. So I thank the co-conveners, Mr. Ajmal Khan, Mr. Parthasarthi, as well as Ms. Krishnaveni, who had been a pillar of support, and all the members of the Senior Advocates Forum, many young senior advocates who had stood with me, like Mr. Srinath Sridevan, Balasubramaniam, Gautam, my good friend Mr. Jayesh Dolia, Mr. Manishankar. And when I speak about the directory, I need to also inform you that lot of inputs had come from Mr. N.L. Raja. I had taken these drafts once or twice to him. He was able to provide me. I had shared this draft with all the seniors in the WhatsApp group, had those inputs taken. So in spite of which, if there is some mistake which had happened in the directory, it should be only because of me. The entire responsibility for any mistakes in the directory will be on me. All credits will go to all the seniors who had helped me in this exercise. Thank you one and all. Thanks for this time. And it had been a very good beginning, and we look forward for many more. Thank you all.
We conclude the event with the national anthem. I request everybody to stand.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल भंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Just a final announcement. A tea is served for all the guests on this floor and the dignitaries in the dining hall.